Guys, I am so excited for this video. I've been wanting to do this for months, ever since I first got this book. For those of you who don't know, this is the Cars comic treasury, released in 2017 by Disney Comics and Joe Books. It features over 700 pages of compiled Cars comics, with the first section of the book being dedicated to the comic adaptations of Cars and Cars 2, which we took a look at in previous videos. Everything else, beyond page 120, all the way up to page, 720, are reprints of the old Cars magazine comics. That's right, we have hundreds upon hundreds of pages of the comic stories that you'd find within the Cars magazines reprinted right here into this book. And man, I'm so excited because these are all original stories. I've heavily criticized the Cars and Cars 2 comic adaptations for not doing the best job at adapting the movies, but this is what I really am excited for with this book. Just these fun little original Cars stories, nothing lore-breaking or earth-shattering, just fun little stories with the characters, and I can't wait to see what wacky scenarios and fun little moments we find. Now, the book does actually compile them into smaller chapters. You can see we have Greetings from Radiator Springs, which lasts from page 120 to 190. And then we get a chapter called On the Road, Keeping It Cool in Radiator Springs, Off to the Races, and Adventures Around the Globe. I did my research and looked into this to see if perhaps they were compiling previous compilations of Cars magazine comics. If maybe there was a comic collection called Greetings from Radiator Springs, but there wasn't, as far as I could tell. The only other thing I could find is something that I actually own. Also in early 2017, Disney Comics and Joe Books released a series of Cars comic issues that also seem to repurpose the Cars magazine comics. Now, I will say right now, I actually don't have a 100% confirmation that these are the Cars magazine comics, but I do know they were written by the same team and they look identical to them, so I think it's safe to assume that these are just all pulled from pre-existing Cars magazines, and they just compiled them here. I think that's pretty obvious just by looking at these. If you own an issue of the Cars magazine, you know the art style and the page format and everything else are identical. But of course, I don't know all that much about the Cars magazine, so I can't tell you specifically what issue each little comic story comes from. But for whatever reason, I thought, maybe, they compiled several of these Joe Books comic issues and called one of them Greetings from Radiator Springs and one of them On the Road or whatever. Nope. In fact, just from flipping through this, I haven't read any of these, by the way. This will be my blind reaction to them for the first time. But I have done a little bit of flipping through just to see if I could identify any of the comics in here also being in here. And there are a few, but they're not in the same order. So it seems that they just put them in their own order here in this book that fit like a general theme. So certainly going to be pretty interesting. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another video and to another episode of Ty's Cars Book Club. Today, we're going to be diving into the first, we'll say, 20 or so pages of the Cars magazine comics here. And man, I'm so excited. So we're going to flip right to page 120 for the start of Greetings from Radiator Springs. Let's see. Looks like we end up... There we go. All right. Greetings from Radiator Springs, gateway to the Ornament Valley. All right. I wonder if this is like a poster taken from the Cars magazines, because I highly doubt anything in this book is original content. You'll see there are fun little interstitial pages every once in a while here, and I assume they're just like posters or other things from the Cars magazines. I highly doubt they made new content for a compilation, especially something this simple to make. Anyway, check this out. I saw this while flipping through, and I think it's very cool. Radiator Springs Panorama. Welcome to the cutest little town in Carburetor County, where you can find anything a car needs. And we have this whole map, which is actually fully drawn, really beautifully well-made map of Radiator Springs here. Again, this font, this writing looks very similar to what I've seen of the Cars magazine, so I'd assume this was pulled from some random issue and plucked on in here for convenience to introduce you to Radiator Springs for this issue about it. Cozy Cone Motel. The hotel sign is on only when Sally, the owner, thinks she'll have visitors. I thought I was going to get information, but it seems like we're going for a funnier approach. Look at this little drawing of McQueen and Sally. Sally looks a little off, but it's very cute. Let's see. Tow Mater Towing and Salvage. It's run by Mater himself, who's the best-known tow truck around. Fillmore's Taste In. This place serves up the best homemade organic fuel in Carburetor County. More like the only homemade organic fuel in Carburetor County. Got 'em. Sergeant Surplus Hut. In this retired sergeant's shop, you could find Army surplus gear and lots of heavy-duty supplies. Radiator Springs Curios. If you're looking for a souvenir, this is the right place to visit. From signs to stickers, Lizzie's got them all. Flo's V8 Cafe. Whether you need gas after a long trip or just a relaxing slurp of fresh oil, I didn't like reading the word slurp so casually, Flo is ready to serve it with a big smile. And, you know, there are words that just disrupt you, that are hard to just say normally in a sentence. I think slurp is one of those. It's such a funny sounding word. It's very hard to casually say that in a sentence. House of Body Art. When you want a new look, Ramon will brighten you up with an awesome paint job. It's Hasadella Tires. It's a tire shop owned by Luigi, who works with Guido. They are considered tire masters. This seems like one where they got kind of lazy. The City Hall. It houses both the courthouse and the fire department. Red can easily be spotted here, as well as sheriff escorting lawbreakers. Very fun. I really like having that. You might notice I'm already being much nicer to this because they're not adapting anything. What we've read before were adaptations of the Cars movies. I had standards there, but here I'm just excited to see what fun little stories they come up with. So, oh, okay. All right, fine. Okay, fine. Don't give me a comic yet. Give me more random pages from the Cars magazine. Wow, this is a really random image of McQueen to use, isn't it? It's just him when he's doing the Rusty's ad. Speed. I'm Speed. All about Lightning McQueen. I'm a hotshot rookie race car, driven to succeed, but I discovered that life is about the journey, not the destination. If any of the grammar here seems a little odd, I did get a comment on my last video confirming that the comics are actually written over in Italy, which makes sense if you read the credits of the other ones you're taking a look at, and they are written by an entire Italian team. If you remember, in our last episode, there was a random panel where they made a mistake and Mater just starts fully speaking Italian. So yeah, a lot of this is written in another language and translated back. So if any of it seems a little off to you, that might be why. Okay, yeah, things like my favorite remark. I don't know, I feel like you wouldn't hear that in English. They'd probably say, like, my favorite saying. You know, my name McQueen is the name of a famous American actor who was also in a car racing movie. No, I thought they said that McQueen wasn't named after Steve McQueen. Wasn't he named after, like, a Pixar employee? Why are you spreading false rumors, Cars Magazine comic? My symbols, the lightning bolt, because it's fast like me. My favorite number is 95. This is giving real Meet the Thomas and Friends characters energy. My look, in the very first sketches, I looked like this. My dream, Piston Cup. I love this. This is my favorite. I love how I love how it's a combination of, poorly translated English, weird sentence structure, McQueen talking about himself in the past, present, and future, all at the same time, talking about himself as a movie character, giving incorrect information, and talking about concept art. All the truth. My best friends. Okay, Mater is a very good friend, but Sally may be more than that. My sponsor. And of course, his favorite remark. If this is what we're in for, guys, it's gonna be a rough time. Alright, with all that weirdness out of the way, let's get started with the actual comics. Our first piece of original comic content here. You can see it looks like this takes place after Cars 2, considering McQueen's design, which makes sense since most of these magazines were released around then. But you'll see there's actually a wide variety of McQueen paint jobs used all throughout here. A lot of different looks for him. So lots of different places on the timeline here, which I think is pretty fun. You're going to see a lot of characters returning. Just from flipping through this, I've seen a lot of interesting, familiar faces, and super excited to get into it. So let's begin with a sponsor for Stanley. Poor Stanley, his sponsor. Wow. Okay, fine. I can't complain about bad grammar when I can't speak right. Poor Stanley, his statue's in bad shape. That's because of last night's storm. Oh wow, yeah, look at that. He's all mossy and leaning over. He needs a makeover. We'll have to call in a specialist. They're usually pretty expensive. Don't worry, Ramon. I'm surprised Ramon didn't offer to do it himself. All we need is a sponsor, and I know where to find two. Guys, it's already so nice to have a comic with well-spaced out panels. Remember how crowded all of these were? How much they tried to cram in? Look at this versus this. This is so nice, and you can tell they're not trying to adapt a pre-existing script. They're just telling a fun little story. Just Yeah, you can see this whole thing's only 4 pages, and they're already getting the point across. All of this information would have been crammed into one panel if it were one of the other comics. It's so nice. They're actually using panel spacing well. All we need is a sponsor. I know where to find 2. Soon enough, Lightning McQueen did the right thing by coming to us, Dusty. It'll be a great honor to help sustain such a noble cause, Rusty. So, you're going to finance Stanley's makeover? I love that Lightning goes all the way to the Rusty's tent. Lightning, as we learn in Cars 3, does not own a phone. Of course, that statue's a symbol of Radiator Springs, and that's where our champion lives. Aw, I love that. Thanks, I'll inform the press at once. That way everyone in Radiator Springs will know their statue's going to shine again. This is so wholesome. So, the Rusty's team sponsoring a car that doesn't move? Interesting news, that calls for some photos. Fire away, boys, we're ready. I like how they're not like, yeah, we're gonna fix up the statue. They're like, no, we're sponsoring the statue. The comic better end with them covering it in Rusty's logos. Ugh, okay, but something the matter? It's not gonna make a pretty picture, but I guess that's the whole point. Maybe we should try another filter? Got him. Absolutely roasted. Oh, wait, now they got a Rusty's can. Maybe we could put this statue out of focus. But Stanley's the one getting the makeover. We've got to find a way to make him more photogenic. Oh, wait, was the Rusty's can already there in the last... No, it wasn't, but they're doing a Rusty's photo shoot for Stanley. But that's funny because he's rusty. He's covered in rust and he's all messed up, so it's funny to have Rusty's sponsor him. Yeah, but how? I know, Mater. We've had the solution right in front of us the whole time, only we didn't see it. Huh? Can you lend me one of your spray guns, Ramon? I think this Rusty's can may help us. Sure, amigo. And there you have it. What do you say? Lightning violently paints Stanley statue. My Stanley's clean and shiny again. Oh, wait, so they used the Rusty's to fix Stanley. Wait, so did they... Oh, this isn't paint. He hooked Ramon's spray gun up to the Rusty's can. That's what's going on. So, I guess Rusty's just fixes all metal, not just bumpers. Someone should tell Rusty and Dusty. Dadgum, great idea, Lightning McQueen. Now he's photogenic. I love how random Radiator Springs cars just pop in and have one line, and then they pop out. But he doesn't need a makeover anymore. Gulp, I never thought of that. Sorry, my friends, there's nothing left to sponsor. It doesn't matter, Lightning McQueen. Stanley's back to new thanks to Rusty's, which means we made our contribution all the same. Click, click, click. Haha, you're right. See, this is what I wanted from these. Just these sweet, wholesome, funny little stories. We get interesting character interactions and fun scenarios. I love this already. It's so nice to be reading these original stories where they have time and space, and it seems like they got a pretty good understanding of the characters. This is the type of Cars content I love, and it's something we don't get much of. Just the characters in casual situations. I feel, as a writer, I feel that you can learn so much, and you can expand your characters so well by just giving them little slice-of-life stories like this every once in a while. And it's so fun to just see these little scenarios happening in the world of Cars. I can't wait to see what's next. Boo! Stop these pages, guys! Stop it. Towing fun with Mater. I'm a good old boy with a big heart, the best and the only tow truck in Radiator Springs. I love jokes, and though there's a little rust in my chassis, I always see the bright side of life. I'm pretty sure that's just Mater's, like, Meet the Cars bio. Hold on, guys. I need to figure this out. I swear to you that, like, the phrasing, like, Mater's a good old boy, and the chassis line, they all seem way too familiar. Give me a second. I'm whipping out Meet the Cars. Everything's cool until he pulls out Meet the Cars, Cars 2 Edition, which is the best version of the book. Okay, Mater, I'm pretty sure your bio has been stolen and reused. Is it stealing if it's... Ah! I told you! Mater's a good old boy with a big heart, and he's the only tow truck in Radiator Springs. Yep. Mater sees the bright side of any situation, and Radiator Springs wouldn't be the same without him. He doesn't have a mean bolt on his chassis. Uh-huh. Yep. There we go. Look at that. I love the fact that the phrase Mater's a good old boy and a line about his chassis tipped me off. I didn't know I knew Meet the Cars that well. See, they just took the lines from Meet the Cars and shuffled them a little and shortened them a little. Great. My sign. Oh, come on, Mater. That's not your sign. This is Mater with sign. thank you. I'll be here all day because this is my house and I live here. But you can't visit. That would be weird. My job. In Radiator Springs, I run Towmater, Tone, and Salvage. I also manage the local impound lot where once I had to keep watch on my best friend, Lightning McQueen. I love how they transition from that to that. My best prank. When I'm a little bored and don't know what to do, I go tractor tipping. I approach the tractors in the field while they're sleeping and toot my horn as loud as I can. This is so much better than the McQueen page. It just doesn't have like the weird phrasing and stuff. Typical me. Playing pranks on everyone, tractor tipping, saying inappropriate things at the wrong time, backwards driving. That seems like one of those like really bad like pickup line checklist t-shirts. You know, like the single Taken and Gamer shirt everyone makes fun of? I want a t-shirt that says typical me, playing pranks on everyone, tractor tipping, saying inappropriate things at the wrong time, backwards driving. If I ever have a merch line, this will be one of the first shirts we release. I'm happier than a tornado in a trailer park. Good for you, Mater. So am I. Mater's specialty. I know this one. This one is, well, I actually don't think that this one is from my Cars comic issue. I believe Mater's specialty comes from the issue of the Cars magazine that I have, that I reviewed on my channel a little while ago. Yeah. It's not in the Joe Books Cars issue here. This is from my issue of Cars magazine, which is, I believe, the October 2012 issue. I reviewed it on my channel back a few years ago. It's actually what inspired this whole book club series. So that's confirmation that these are definitely the Cars magazine comics. This is a very fun one. I won't spoil it, but I have taken a look at it on my channel before because it's from the Cars magazine issue I own. Mater's specialty. Radiator Springs, a day like any other, more or less. Hey, where did all these cars come from? And more importantly, where are they going? Didn't Mater tell you? I don't know what voice to do. Is that Luigi or Fillmore? I guess it's Luigi. Tell me what? Mater's Collectibles, now open. Today's the grand opening of his new store. This is like hood stock, man. Mater has a store? What does he sell? And where in the town is it? Oh, it's just Mater's Towing and Salvage. Oh, you can see it's actually outside. Welcome to Mater's International Accessory Shop. Minivans, super minis, family and sports vehicles, custom accessories for all tastes. Howdy, I want this. Great, pal. You know who gave me this? My buddy Zen Master. A real tough guy. I love that Mater and him are friends now. You know, you can see all sorts of fun things Mater's selling. His headset there. A picture of Mater and Zen Master. I was at the World Grand Prix party with my best friend Lightning McQueen when... So, I guess Mater didn't make a fool of himself in front of Zen Master. Zen Master, I guess, liked him in return. How sweet. They must have met again at some point later, right? Sometime later. I told him he did a good job. Took off all the leaves. Great story, Mater. Is he selling Shu Todoroki's spoiler? Mater, but yeah, that's shoes. Look, it's got the little red on it. Mater, why did he give you that? Thanks. Y'all come back now, George. His name is George. Cars Wiki, write that down. I want this. Excellent choice. It's all the way from Paris. I was there too with my girl and a secret agent. Your girl is a secret agent, Mater. Don't discriminate. I just arrived at the airport when, and customer after customer, story after story, Porto Corsa, Italy. You gotta go there, Francis. Their name is Francis, write that down. At first sight, I couldn't believe it. At last, day's end. So how'd the first day go? Mater's Collectibles. Close. Great, got rid of everything. In a single day? How? How'd you do it? Cut your prices in half? Prices? No, everything was free. Free? But, what do you mean free? You didn't make a dime? No, but I did make lots of friends when I told them my stories. There's George, Francis, Alex, Andrew, Sarah, Christine, Michael, Valentine, Nicholas, Adrian, John, Ned. Write those down! Know what? Mater's the best. Say it loud and proud, Fillmore. How sweet and wholesome. Oh no, it's one of these again. You know, I said I think we'd review the first 20 pages of this, but we're actually already almost at the 20-page mark. Something that I've realized just now, I was flipping through to see how long this chapter is, what I realized is the whole Greetings from Radiator Springs thing, the concept is that there's a page about a character and then a comic about them. I don't know how I didn't realize that yet. But as I was flipping through to see where to cut off this video, you could see after Sally, we have Doc, and then a comic about Doc. Then we have Sheriff, and a comic about Sheriff, Red, comic about Red, etc. So that's really cool, honestly. I think we'll do about half of it today. I didn't go through every page because I didn't want to spoil it, but I love the concept of learning about the character and then getting to read a little story about them taken from a previous Cars magazine. I think that's really, really cool. And I think we're going to do 5 in total. 5 of these short stories plus 5 of these character pages seems like enough of a video for me. And then next time we'll take a look at the other half of characters. So let's see. It's Sally. Sally's dream. I'm a sporty, charming car living in Radiator Springs. I love this town and the land around it. I'd like to tell you about my greatest dream. My name is Sally. I look like the famous German sports car, the Porsche Carrera 911. That's because you are one, Sally. My tattoo. Whoa there, Sally. You sure you want to expose that to the public? My story. I was a high-powered attorney in Los Angeles, but I never felt happy. One day I just drove and finally broke down in Radiator Springs. Here Doc fixed me and I made a new start. I bought a motel and restored it back to its original condition. Now I'm very happy, especially since I've met my love. Why did I say it like that? It's so weird that McQueen's is like behind the scenes information and everybody else's is like, hey, this is me, this is what I'm like. But McQueen's like, I was named after this person, which again I'm pretty sure is not correct. And this is what I look like in concept art. My love, I admit it. I took an instant shine to Lightning McQueen. Is that a thing people say? If I'm into someone, do I say that I took an instant shine to them? Or is it only because McQueen's a car? Hey girl, I took an instant shine when I saw you. Like, she would have run away if I told her that. My greatest dream. I have big hopes that Radiator Springs will return to its former glory. I'm very optimistic about seeing my town back on the map. I love that all the stories take place after the movie. Several of them take place after the second movie, but the characters talk like they're living the first movie and also not at all at the same time. Look at how terrifying the page fold looks. Cyclops Sally. Okay, so Sally's comic is called The Hospitality of Champions, and this is one that's actually featured here in... That's one that's actually featured here, I believe, in my Joe Books Cars comic issue. Yeah, see, here it is. Hey. Cool. Okay. Looks like another one with Rusty and Dusty. I don't remember this one. For those of you asking, I will not be reviewing the Joe Books Cars comic issue. I only have this one, and again, I assume all these stories will be compiled in this book somewhere, so no need to reread the same ones. Anyway, The Hospitality of Champions. I've got to find a solution. Hey, Sally. Hi, Clink. Hi, Clank. Yo, those are their, aren't those their international names, right? So that's our first translation error of the comic. Woo! Oh, look at that, see? Hey! Hey, so that's correct. I got another comment from somebody on my Cars comic adaptation review saying that they own a different adaptation of the first Cars comic, and a lot of the errors, like Mater speaking Italian and one of Red's speech bubbles being empty, are not present. So it just seems that here they didn't really do another read-through before posting the Cars comics in here, whereas other adaptations have fixed errors. Unfortunately, it seems that, yeah, I guess they just didn't proofread as much, but yeah, so in this version of the book, Sally calls them by their wrong names, even though they were called Rusty and Dusty in the other one, and in the other adaptation of this. So, very interesting. It seems like they were just taking earlier versions of the story and plopping them in here again before maybe they proofread. Interesting. My brother and I have just rolled into town for a few days. You don't happen to know where... Oh no, you need a place to stay too? Yes. She doesn't recognize them? Groan. Sorry guys, I didn't mean it like that. Ever since tourists and travelers got wind of Radiator Springs, finding accommodations for everyone has become a real problem. Yes, Sally, the other side of getting your town back on the map. Too many people trying to go to your town. Be careful what you wish for, Sally Carrera. And you've got to come up with a solution? Yes, Doc asked me to handle it. Okay, so this is our first comic to take place between movies. But there's not a vacancy in the whole town. Sally, at last I've caught up with you. Do you guys want me to do my old Flo voice? Have you heard my Flo voice from Early Cars Adventure? She used to talk like this! And then I stopped when I realized that I couldn't do that voice well anymore. And also it sounded like Mickey Mouse on helium. An entire club of racing fans is on its way. The club president just called to book accommodations for all of them. Why does it have like a little zigzag like it's a radio transmission? Sigh, I'll do my best. Sure you will. And don't worry about us. We'll put in the Rusty's team's mobile garage. Have you brought your racing equipment? It's on its way now. But the garage isn't big enough for an entire club. I'm not thinking about the mobile garage. I'm thinking about arson. Sorry guys, when there's nothing to make fun of in these comics, I have to make my own jokes, and sometimes they're just bad. I genuinely really love these though. They're so sweet and wholesome, and they're so fun to read. When the club members arrive, Miss Sally, we're from the Lightning McQueen fan club. What voice do you have? Miss Sally, we're from the Lightning. Is that a female car, Miss Sally? Is it true that you've dated Lightning McQueen, Miss Sally? Welcome. We've been expecting you. I like how they have the Mia and Tia stickers on them. See. Special accommodations just for your club. Fantastic. A real race car paddock. That's the same brand our champ uses. Come on inside. Your accommodations are all set. With all the modern comforts, including a refrigerator. I haven't bathed in 17 weeks. Including a refrigerator stocked with Rusties. Courtesy of our sponsor. Ha ha, you say that like Rusties is a drink. Also, a confirmation on how cars open refrigerators. There's a button connected to a wire that opens it. Thanks. Anyway, another very sweet, fun one. You know what I should do? I don't usually like doing remakes, but these are such fun, simple stories that only use main Cars characters. It'd be so fun to do, like, remakes of these comics. I actually planned on doing that years and years ago. Maybe I should revisit that. Would you guys like to see that? Again, I typically don't like doing remakes, but considering these are such obscure stories, it's not like I'm remaking a scene from the movie. Maybe that could be fun to do. Just these little obscure stories, make some people know about them a bit more. The story of Doc Hudson. I'm a car, a few words, you know. But on this page, you'll learn something more about me, my story, and my secrets. Doc Hudson. I'm a 1951 Hudson Hornet. Oh, that's funny, because Sally says she just looks like a Porsche Carrera 911. I'm a 1951 Hudson Hornet, and was once a race car, the fabulous Hudson Hornet. My favorite remark, turn right to go left. My past. I started racing in the Piston Cup Series back in 1951, when the tracks were dirt and the page was turned, and the cars were tough. Well, I won the Big Cup 3 times. My present. I now serve as town judge in Radiator Springs, and I'm also the resident doctor. Speedway legend. No trailers, no pitties, just heavy-duty motors and strong chassis. My secret? My low center of gravity allowed me to be very fast in the turns, but once I had a very bad crash and had to give up racing. Interesting. I didn't know about Doc's low center of gravity. Cool. My future. In McQueen, What happened here? No, Doc! No, Doc! Doc has no future. No, this is awful, because Doc dies between movies. In McQueen, I see... car... Okay, so... I got this book used. My mom got it for me. Used. So, it seems something happened, and this page just got corroded. In such an inappropriate place. Doc's future being blurred out. That's so terrible. But you can see in McQueen, I see, and he probably talks about training McQueen. But man, that's really unfortunate. Let's hope that doesn't happen in like a more significant place. Okay. Alright, here's a new one. Never seen this before. Fabulous Doc. Look at all the dust, Doc. It's about time this place got a good cleaning. Or in other words, Doc, time to clean out the garage, buddy. Come on. Hey, what's that? Just an old newspaper clipping. You mean you used to be a wrestler? What? No, all that happened ages ago. Fabulous. The events following a great race. What a thrilling day, racing fans. Wait, I can't get over Doc was a wrestler. What happened here? It's the last lap with Fabulous Hudson Hornet and gorgeous Gus O'Lean head-to-head. Best name ever. Is he racing a pacer? Best name ever. Guys, write that down. Write that down. Here they are now, approaching the curve. Oh no, Gorgeous is in trouble. Huh? Screech. Hudson Hornet takes the checkered flag. What the heck happened? Everything okay, Gus? That last curve was a doozy. Ouch! I thought Doc was wrestling. Get to the part where he wrestles. Wait, but did he not say you used to be a wrestler? And he's fighting him. I think I've dislocated my semi-axle or something like that. The racing season's over for me. Don't be ridiculous. I'll have you fixed up lickety-split. I learned this trick when I was a youngster. It might hurt at first. Ugh, hold on, Hudson, I'm not... Cronk! Ouch! Flash, click, click. Well, how's it feel? Incredible! It's like new! Okay, so McQueen thought he was a wrestler because Doc just did extreme acupuncture to gorgeous Gus O'Lean. Come on, guys. New Cars lore just dropped? I love this, though, because Doc is a doctor. I like seeing that he knew medical practices earlier on. If you ever give up racing, you can always study medicine. Ha 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 ha. Get it? Get it? Get it? Do you get it? I hate when, like... Yeah, I hate it when, like, movies and shows say, like, the most obvious things about the future. Like, you know, in Attack of the Clones, Anakin does something that upsets Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan goes, "Someday you're going to be the death of me." Stuff like that drives me insane. It's so unnecessary. This is, like, Madam Web tier quote. This is like, "Oh, I'm an uncle. That means I have no responsibility." Thanks, but that'll be the day. Do you get it? Do you get it? Because that's what we know the character to do in the future. Actually, we don't know Doc's future. Though as things turned out, here you are. Yes, but you did graduate, didn't you? Your semi-axle looks dislocated, Lightning. What's Lightning talking about? You're a wrestler, graduating. What? So is he asking, like, Doc, you did actually get a PhD. Like, Doc, you did study medicine, right? And this comic's implying that Doc is not a licensed doctor. Hey, Sally, want to see me put his semi-axle back in place? It's going to be very painful. Uh-oh, I spoke too soon. Hee hee. Sally doing her best Michael Jackson impression. I love how they even make McQueen's paint job consistent, you know, since this is before Cars 2. There's a lot of good attention to detail in these, which is something I couldn't say about the other comics. These are just fun little stories, and yeah, they're kind of weird sometimes, but I don't mind at all. Now we're going to do our final story for the episode, which is all about Sheriff. Everybody in my family is a traffic cop, and I always knew I would be a cop too. After all, how many other options did I have with a name like Sheriff? That's also taken from Meet the Cars. Radiator Springs, my badge. Gentlemen, start your engines. That's a interesting quote for Sheriff. My best quote, boy, you're in a heap of trouble. Yeah, it is. That's the best quote. A drawing of me. In an early sketch, I looked like this. And Sheriff's rules. No bumping, no cheating, no speeding, no pushing, no shoving, no road hogging, no lollygagging, and no road raging. So really not much going on for Sheriff's page. And he also looks like a Cyclops. Like, One-Eyed Sheriff isn't real. He can't hurt you. I should make that the thumbnail. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the thumbnail of this, but whatever. I kind of wish Sheriff's page had a bit more information on it. It seems like they just watched the race scene and his first scene and called it a day. It shows a very big picture of him. You could have put something else there, a little paragraph that tells you a little more about him and how he abides by the rules. And oh, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is the sort of crazy stuff I want to see from these comics. Dustin Mellows having dialogue and fighting Snot Rod? Okay, see, this is the type of stuff I'm hyped for. You should do... What kind of voice would Dustin Mellows have? See, Dustin Mellows is just a minor character that we see drive through Radiator Springs in a flashback, and it's so cool that for a lot of these comics, again, just flipping through this book, I've seen crazy character appearances. It seems they just took pre-existing characters and used their designs instead of coming up with new ones sometimes. And I think that's really fun. It just adds lore. See, look, he calls him Dustin. So Dustin Mellows, I guess, at some point returned to Radiator Springs, and he knows everyone now. That's awesome. You should teach them a lesson, Sheriff. Who are you talking about, Dustin? Those rascals who run wild on the roads around Radiator Springs. They bother everybody, especially us trucks. Want to race, Gramps? Young whippersnapper. I like that they just make him an old man because he was in a flashback scene. Let's give that 18-wheeler a little company. Forget him, Snot Rod. And then they went to bother an 18-wheeler, I guess. Dustin Mellows, I think his name is Mellows, but okay, is right. Those tricksters are liable to cause an accident. They've got powerful engines. I don't know if I can catch up with them. I'll give you a hand as volunteer deputy sheriff. Thanks, McQueen, but I'd rather use Mac. No problem, but I'm not so fast myself. Don't worry. We'll show those things that the law is always one step ahead. He calls them things. That's rude. I love this art style. It's so fun. This is like my ideal Cars comic art style. It looks on model. It's not too over-exaggerated and cartoony like the Cars 1 comic is. It's not too, like, strict and perfectly, like, on point like the Cars 2 one is. It's just fun. And that's how I would best describe this. This feels like watching like a classic Cars YouTube series. There's just wacky hijinks going on. And again, they're just these small, quaint, fun stories that are just a blast to read. So let's see what they're going to do with Mac. Blank Mac, no way! Guys, I need to do a whole Cars That Should Be Made based on this. Hey you, come here! We're close to town, boo, so it seems they removed everything from Mac, so I didn't know he was McQueen's Holler. I hope the sheriff isn't perched behind some billboard, and what if he is? We'll outrun him any day. Looky here, our pal's setting a trap for himself. This road ain't going nowhere. That's the truth, not even in reverse. He. Where did Mater come from? I guess Mater's setting the trap. Oh, see, Mater blocks off the road so they have no way out. Screech! Watch out! What's going on? Why is he hitting the brakes? Afternoon, smoothies. Smoothies? Ooh. Hello, pranksters. Welcome to my new mobile anti-crime unit. Oh, no. Ugh, the sheriff. I love this. Mac's completely blank on the sides, and he's got all this police gear inside. I love this. This is so much fun. We reached the end, and next time, red. Ooh. So there you have it, guys. Our first 5 Cars Magazine comics. And like I've said several times in this video, they're so fun and just these cute, quaint little stories. And I absolutely adore stuff like this. Just little things that expand the world of cars and just give us little stories of interesting character interactions. I especially loved that last one. These are just fun little stories. They don't mean much, but they give you exactly what you're looking for. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for part 2 of this. I gotta make it soon. There are a lot of pages left. See you guys next time. Bye now.